your side tonight with Jamie Bowles starts now.
Thanks for sticking with us here at 7:30. They were all heroes, all 7 of them. They had set aside their lives, their needs, to help others. The 7 were working for World Central Kitchen, feeding the hungry in Gaza. Famine is a real worry here as the war between Hamas and Israel nears the 6-month mark. The 7 were traveling in a WCK-marked vehicle when it was hit by an Israeli drone-fired missile. As you can see by the pictures here, they had no chance.
I want to be very clear. The strike was not carried out with the intention of harming WCK aid workers. It was a mistake that followed a misidentification at night during a war in a very complex conditions. It shouldn't have happened.
One of those killed was Damian Sobel. He was from Poland and a friend of Robert Adler, who many here in Charlotte know as Chef Ernie. Robert met Damian when they volunteered together at the World Central Kitchen along the Poland-Ukraine border in 2022. When you saw the names, they started coming out, and you saw Damian's name on there, how'd that hit you?
It was hard. Again, it's one of those things you can't even put a word on it. It's disheartening. It's traumatic. Knowing that I met somebody, or in my case, I met somebody who was just doing that kind of work and willing to go anywhere just to simply help people eat. It's tragic is not even an appropriate. It's just horrible, horrible.
More from Robert in a moment, but first a reminder. It is dangerous work volunteering in a war zone. According to USAID, in the 5 years between 2018 and 2022, on average, about 125 aid workers were killed across the globe. In Gaza alone, in the last 6 months, that number is 203. Jose Andres, the famous celebrity chef, started World Central Kitchen after the massive 2010 Haiti earthquake. His nonprofit has grown into a global leader in disaster aid. They will basically go anywhere to feed people. In the New York Times today, he wrote this: in the worst conditions you can imagine, after hurricanes, earthquakes, bombs, and gunfire, the best of humanity shows up. Not once or twice, but always. The 7 people killed on a World Central Kitchen mission in Gaza on Monday were the best of humanity. They are not faceless or nameless. He added, Israelis in their heart of hearts know that food is not a weapon of war. Israel is better than the way this war is being waged. It is better than blocking food and medicine to civilians. It is better than killing aid workers who had coordinated their movements with the Israeli Defense Forces.
I think for the sake of his organization, he had to come out and strongly condemn, as we all do, what happened there. And an investigation will hopefully uncover exactly what happened, and they'll figure out what went wrong. It's war, and unfortunately and sadly, again, which words are not even enough for that, innocent people will always die in war and mistakes will happen. And we have to make sure that whatever the mistake was is not repeated.
Obviously, sadness hits you first, but is there some anger here?
There is some anger. You know, on some respects, Israel does need to do a better job of ensuring that they're going after the right people. You know, the challenge that they have is Hamas, and they're at war with Hamas. They're not at war with the Palestinians. Hamas is hiding in hospitals and in schools, and they have weapons in those areas. They have hostages underground. And, you know, let's remember, originally this started October 7th when hostages were taken. If they're released, the IDF goes home. Right. It's that simple. This war could end quickly and rebuild Gaza to a beautiful new country, which is what they deserve to have as well.
When you go into these kinds of situations and these volunteers, how do you compartmentalize the risk? Because there's always risk no matter where you're going.
There is. So I was on the Poland-Ukraine border, but I was on the Polish side. But still, there's some risk. Missiles did come across the Polish border. It's hard to compartmentalize it and to think of that thought process that they go through, how they override that fear, and the challenges that they're going through with the ultimate mission, which is just to bring food to people.
Does it give you pause about going back and volunteering again?
I would go in a second. I would need some clearance from my wife and kids on that. It's an issue that's always going to be with me. And I'm doing whatever I can here in the community because we do have Ukrainian refugees coming here, and there are some active groups here, so we're helping streamline them into our culture. But I would love to go back.
So you're talking about going to Israel to helping there as well. It goes to the point of the whole mission of what this is about. This isn't about the politics of it. This isn't about picking sides. This is about just helping people. Touch on that a little bit.
World Central Kitchen doesn't do politics, and they shouldn't, because the fact is food and water, there's nothing political about that. It's a human right. We all have the right to live, and it's a basic theory of Maslow's hierarchy, right? We need food, we need shelter, we need water, we need warmth, things like that.
When you can provide that basic support to somebody, what's that feel like to you? What's the expression you see on their faces, across the table?
One of the quotes that Damien had, and I pretty much have the same sort of overriding goal, is if I can provide a warm meal to somebody who's just had a horrendous day, had their life shattered, had their businesses torn away, their family members lost, whatnot, it's one of the most incredible things that you can experience and feel.
Will any of this deter the mission of World Central Kitchen?
No. It will not. They will still continue to do, because there are people like Damien and the other 6 that died. There are more to just step into that role and go wherever they're needed to help others survive.
Again, heroes, all of them. We're on your side tonight, counting down to the total solar eclipse. We're just days away from that big celestial event. This is the last time to see a total solar eclipse in the United States until August 12th of 2045. But we only got to wait 4 more days. First Alert meteorologist Rachel Coulter joins us now. For the states in the path of totality, here's the question I think a lot of people might wonder. Might that eclipse actually impact temperatures?
100%. Amongst many other things, even technically cloud cover, especially those cumulus clouds that develop in the peak heating hours of the day, those can actually start to diminish a little bit. And if you have those flat stratus clouds, not so much, but it depends. But there's going to be a substantial drop in temperature once the sun is completely covered up. We could be seeing temperature drops of about 10 degrees when you look at it at average. It all depends on your location, the humidity at that location, and also the cloud cover at that location, all going to be playing a pretty big role. And of course, that's going to be similar to the temperature difference that you would experience from about the middle of the day to just after sunset. Just one of a few differences that you'll see. Of course, you'll be able to check out the sun's corona. You can actually look at that because it's all covered up. It's not going to be the case here in the Charlotte area and surrounding spots. No matter where you're listening in from, if you're staying local, you'll need those eclipse glasses the entire time. And a drop in temperature as that shadow passes overhead. Again, just one of the many things that you'll notice if you're actually headed to that path of totality. Very fascinating how nature responds to what is such an exciting event. There's so many things that happen. We're going to continue to talk about this with time, and as we get closer and closer, the cloud cover forecast as well. So check back in for frequent updates. If you're staying local, maybe if you're going to be traveling, we'll have those forecast updates for you over the course of the week as we get closer to Monday, Jamie.
Yeah, that cloud forecast, that's kind of massive to all of them.
Oh, make or break, 100%.
Yeah, absolutely. Rachel's seen a few. All right, we're on your side tonight with the coaching carousel around here. Panthers and Charlotte FC just hired new coaches, and now, yep, it is the Hornets' turn to do the same. It was announced today Steve Clifford would be stepping down at the end of the year. The injury-riddled Hornets have won just 18 games so far this season. They have 57 losses. Clifford spoke to reporters earlier today, where he says it's time.
I've enjoyed this whole thing. Even the losing this 2 years has been very, very difficult, but I've loved the players. I love Terry Rozier. I can say that. Melo. I mean, what Miles has done this year in terms of... Miles just played 86 minutes in 2 games. People don't do that in this league. So there were so many things to feel good about. But again, you got to do your part. And you know what? When you're the head coach, you can't pick and choose now. And if you don't think you can get yourself to that level every day, it's not fair to try to do it.
Steve Clifford earlier today. Wbtv Sports Director Nate Wimberly here in studio to talk more about it. The off-the-court, the off-the-field news. It never ends around here.
Hey, we're becoming professionals at covering this. Coaching changes and GMs, we're pros at that now.
Well, Steve Clifford just sort of dealt a bad hand.
Yes, very bad hand these last 2 years. Injuries have been just terrible for this team. This year, they're 28th in games missed in the NBA. Last year, they were 29th. A lot of their best players are missing games, and in the NBA, if you don't have your best players, especially at this level, and when you're a mid-market type franchise, you're not going to win many games, and this team has not.
New ownership, obviously, here. Is this also them putting their stamp on things?
I think they really wanted. They extended the olive branch to Cliff to come back next year, but Cliff just said, "No, man, you know, I just can't. I can't fake it anymore, or I can't fake it at all. I just don't have the energy to do this." So, but you know, to go to that point, I do believe that there was a feeling maybe that some wanted a different voice in the locker room. It looked good, and then after the trade deadline, they were winning games. Like, oh man, well maybe. Well now they're back to they've lost 8 of the last 9. They've lost 3 in a row. Yeah, it's just time.
So you got the first big test now, right, for the new head of basketball operations, Jeff Peterson. He's got some pressure now.
Yeah, he's got some pressure, but, you know, this is a chance to put his stamp on this team. And I wonder if it's going to be a young coach. He's a young guy in this whole deal. Maybe bring in a young guy where they can both grow and just build this thing, and you can have something for some longevity. So I do believe, in my heart of hearts, I think it's going to be a young coach. It might even be a first-time coach, just so they can be on the same level. And as this team ascends, they can ascend together.
So I was wondering about that. Is this an attractive job? Is it one that's going to attract people who really want to get into this?
You know what? That's a good question, because I would have said, yeah, you got LaMelo Ball and you got all this young talent. I don't even know. Right now, I don't know where this team is going as far as LaMelo Ball and the future of this franchise. Yeah, he's going to be – his extension kicks in next year. He can't stay healthy, folks. And at some point, you got to examine that and see if this is what we're going to be doing. Are we going to do this long term? He has to stay on the court. And a lot of their best players have to stay healthy. You know, Mark Williams has the back issue. It's a bone issue in his back. So this team, they got a long way to go. Folks, this is not going to be a quick fix. Just like we said with the Carolina Panthers, this is not going to be a quick fix, folks. So just buckle down. It's going to take some time, but I do believe they'll eventually get it right. I think this ownership group and Jeff Peterson, they're making the right moves and they're making the right steps to get this thing pointed.
You're telling me it's not just one piece out there. Go find me player X, and we're ready to make a run.
No.
It's going to take a little longer than that.
Yes.
Well, we'll be watching to see who a new coach comes to Charlotte.
We'll have stay tuned. About a month and a half, we'll have another press conference. We'll be right back here again.
So I'm trying to think. Charlotte FC's coach is like the senior coach right now.
Oh my God, Dean Smith! Oh my
I think that's
God,
right, isn't it?
Yes,
I think it is, right?
Well,
that's
it might be Canales. Either way, boy, 3 months is the senior coach among the pro teams in this city. Wow,
it's wild. Thank you, Nate. Coming up next year on On Your Side Tonight.
I would like to take a look at that.
I just think that's a terrible idea.
Back and forth at Charlotte City Council. How will Charlotte fund its multi-billion-dollar mobility plan? What one member is suggesting.